Life is not a mirror reflecting what is. It is a canvas waiting for what you decide to paint. Too many people stare at what they call reality and allow it to dictate their feelings, their faith, and their future. But you are not a victim of circumstance. You are a creator of circumstance. When you stop bowing to appearances and begin to hold a picture of what you desire, unwaveringly, life begins to rearrange itself to match your vision. Your current situation is just a shadow, a fading echo of old thoughts and old words. The moment you start speaking differently, believing differently, and acting as though your dream is already true, the shadow must change. So stop looking at what is and start claiming what must be. Your word is law over your life. Your imagination is not fantasy. It is your creative workshop. Speak your good into existence, see it done, and let nothing move you. Reality is nothing more than a snapshot of the past. What you see around you today is not permanent. It is simply the result of yesterday's thoughts, beliefs, and actions. The money in your bank account, the relationships in your life, the opportunities or challenges you face. All of these are effects, not causes. They are echoes of the mental pictures you once held, the words you once spoke, and the expectations you once carried. In other words, reality is old news. Most people make the mistake of living as if what they see is the ultimate truth. They say, "This is just the way things are." And in that very moment, they unknowingly agree to keep living the same story over and over. They react to appearances, complain about circumstances, and wonder why nothing ever changes. But to live like that is to be trapped by a picture that no longer serves you. The truth is, what you see now is outdated. The real creative power is not in looking at what is, but in deciding what will be. When you stop giving all your attention to the present conditions, and begin to focus on what you want to experience, you activate a new pattern. Reality begins to bend and shift. The world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your new state of mind. This is why it is so important to treat the present as temporary. The bank account that looks empty today does not have to stay empty. The relationship that feels broken today can be healed. The door that appears closed can open if you dare to imagine it open and act as though it is already done. Your job is not to report the news of your life like a commentator. Your job is to make the news by holding a higher picture. Stop reciting the facts of your current situation. Stop saying, "I can't afford this," or "nothing ever works out for me." Those statements may describe what you see, but they also command life to keep giving you more of the same. Instead, speak as if your good is already here. Say, "Everything I need comes to me easily and effortlessly." Say, "I am always provided for." Say, "Life is conspiring in my favor." These words may feel strange at first, especially if what you see appears to contradict them, but this is how creation works. You must call things that are not as though they already are. Reality will try to tempt you into fear and doubt. It will whisper, "See, nothing has changed yet." This is where most people give up and fall back into old thinking. But if you can hold the vision a little longer, reality will have to catch up. Think of it like planting a seed the moment you plant it. The soil may look the same, but something is already happening beneath the surface. If you keep watering the seed with faith, it must grow. Reality is simply the harvest of past seeds. Your job is to keep planting new ones. Every time you choose faith over fear, every time you speak abundance instead of lack, every time you see beyond appearances, you are creating a new reality. Treat what you see as old news, because it is. The real headline is being written by the thoughts you think right now. You hold more power than you realize. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every belief you nurture is shaping the world around you. You are not a passive observer of life, waiting for something good to happen by chance. You are the very force that calls things into being. You are the creator of your circumstances. What you see today is nothing more than the sum total of what you have imagined, spoken, and expected up until this point. And if you created this, you can create something new. Creation begins within you. The moment you choose a new thought, you set a new pattern in motion. The moment you speak words of faith and conviction, you send a command out into the universe. Your words are not empty sounds, they are creative power. When you say, "I can never do this," or "nothing ever works out for me," you are building a reality where those statements are true. But the moment you decide to speak differently, "I am more than capable. Everything is always working for me. I am divinely guided and provided for," you send a new signal, and life begins to rearrange itself to reflect that truth. You are constantly creating, whether you are aware of it or not. If you are holding pictures of fear, doubt, and limitation in your mind, those pictures will eventually show up as conditions in your world. If you are constantly complaining about lack, your complaints act as commands to bring you more lack. But the moment you take responsibility and say, "I am the one who decides what comes next," everything changes. You step out of victimhood and into power. You stop waiting for someone else to rescue you, and instead declare what you want and allow life to deliver it. There is no limit to what you can create. If you can imagine it, you can have it. The imagination is not a place for fantasy, it is the workshop of creation. See yourself living in the house you want, driving the car you want, living the life you want. Feel the emotions of already having it. Speak words that affirm it as true, and then refuse to back down, no matter what appearances suggest. Life cannot resist a mind and heart that are consistent. The outer world must eventually conform to the inner picture. Most people wait for their circumstances to change before they feel good, before they believe. But the secret is to feel it first, to believe it first, to walk and talk as though it is already here. This is what activates creation. This is how you move from wishing to knowing. When you stand firm, when you refuse to let go of the picture, creation is inevitable. It does not matter how things look right now. It does not matter how long the road has been, or how many times you've failed before. You can start fresh today. You can create something entirely different from what you've experienced so far. The moment you take ownership of your power as the creator, you stop being pushed around by circumstances and start commanding them. Your life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. The moment you choose a vision for your life, the entire universe begins to move in response. A vision is not a fleeting wish or a casual daydream, it is a mental blueprint, a decision of the heart that says, "This is what I claim for myself." Once you have chosen this inner picture, your most important task is to hold it, to keep it alive, to nourish it, and to refuse to let it go no matter what circumstances suggest. This is where most people falter. They set an intention, they imagine something better, they even feel excited for a moment. But when outer appearances seem unchanged, they let go of the vision. They begin to doubt, to question, to talk themselves out of their own dream. But holding the vision means staying loyal to it, even when the evidence around you tells a different story. It is an act of faith to declare that what you have seen inwardly is more real than what you see outwardly. And it is this faith that transforms the invisible into the visible. When you hold the vision, you give it energy. Each time you revisit that mental picture with gratitude and certainty, you breathe life into it. You are telling life itself, "This is what I choose. This is what I accept." And life always delivers what is consistently asked for. It does not matter how far away your dream looks right now. It does not matter how many steps stand between you and its fulfillment. The act of holding the vision begins to draw everything necessary into your path, the people, the opportunities, the ideas, the resources, as though by a mysterious magnetic force. You must protect your vision from doubt and negativity. Not everyone will understand what you are creating. Some may tell you it's impossible or unrealistic. Some may even try to pull you back to the level of what is familiar and safe. But your job is not to convince anyone. Your job is to stay true to what you have seen, to keep looking at it inwardly, until it becomes more natural to you than your current reality. The world is shaped by those who dare to hold a picture of something better long enough for it to take form. Holding the vision also means acting in alignment with it. When you know where you are going, you naturally begin to make choices that match that destination. If you are holding the vision of abundance, you stop speaking words of lack. If you are holding the vision of health, you stop identifying with sickness. If you are holding the vision of love, you stop expecting rejection and begin to act as someone who is already loved and chosen. These little acts of faith build momentum, and that momentum carries you forward until the outer world cannot help but reflect the inner truth. The vision must become real in your mind before it can become real in your life. This is why imagination is so powerful. It allows you to see and feel what has not yet happened, to experience the joy of it now. The more vivid and consistent your inner picture, the faster reality bends to meet it. Keep rehearsing your desired outcome in your thoughts. Keep speaking about it with confidence. Keep acting as though it is done. Holding the vision is not hard work. It is a joyful declaration that what you desire is on its way, and your faith is the evidence of its arrival. Your words are not idle sounds, they are commands to life itself. Every word you speak carries energy, direction, and intention. And that energy goes forth and shapes your experience. When you speak with hesitation, doubt, or fear, you weaken your own power. But when you speak with authority, as though your words cannot fail, you release a force that cannot be resisted. Speaking with authority means understanding that what you say matters, that your declarations are creative acts. The world responds to the tone of your command. When you speak with authority, you do not plead with life to give you what you want, you declare that it is already yours. You do not beg the universe to notice you, you take your rightful place as one who is heard. Speaking with authority is not about loudness or aggression. It is about certainty. It is about knowing that your word carries weight, that what you say is backed by a power far greater than you. When you say, "I am blessed," you say it as a fact, not a hope. When you say, "Everything I need comes to me," you say it as if it is happening now. This tone of command is what moves circumstances into alignment with your desires. Most people use their words carelessly. They complain about their circumstances, they talk about their struggles, they repeat stories of fear and failure, not realizing that every one of those statements is a seed being planted. Those seeds grow into more of the same conditions. But you can choose differently. You can use your words as tools to create the life you want. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," you say, "I am richly supplied." Instead of saying, "This will never work out," you say, "Everything is working for my highest good." Even if appearances do not yet match, your words begin to shift the unseen forces that govern your reality. Speaking with authority also means refusing to contradict yourself. If you declare in the morning that you are prosperous but spend the afternoon talking about how broke you are, your words cancel each other out. Authority requires consistency. It means guarding your tongue and being intentional with every statement you make. Your word should be as solid as a contract, unshakable and unwavering. The more consistent you are, the faster your reality will align. You do not need to explain or justify your declarations to anyone. When you speak with authority, you are not asking for approval. You are setting a decree, much like a king or queen issues an order that must be carried out. You are reminding yourself and the universe that your good is already here and nothing can take it from you. This is not arrogance, it is alignment with truth. It is stepping into your rightful role as the creator of your experience. When you speak with authority, your own mind begins to obey. Doubt cannot linger when you repeatedly declare what is true for you. Fear begins to fade because you are no longer giving it permission to stay. Every statement of faith builds your confidence, and that confidence becomes a magnet that draws to you exactly what you have spoken. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes until your entire vocabulary is filled with words of power, assurance, and victory. Speak as one who knows, not as one who hopes, and watch how quickly your words take form in the world around you. The greatest test of faith is learning to ignore appearances. The outer world often tries to convince you that nothing is happening, that your efforts are wasted, that your dream is too far away. But what you see with your physical eyes is only the evidence of old thoughts, the last chapter of a story you are no longer writing. To give power to those appearances is to stay chained to the past. The moment you stop letting them dictate your mood, your decisions, and your expectations, you open the door for something new to unfold. Ignoring appearances does not mean pretending problems do not exist. It means refusing to let them control your state of mind. It means saying, "This may be the picture now, but it is not the final picture." The rent may be due and the money not yet in sight, but instead of giving in to panic, you hold your peace and affirm that supply is on the way. The body may be showing symptoms, but instead of identifying with sickness, you call yourself well and whole. The opportunity may look closed, but you speak as though doors are opening. This is not denial. This is choosing to believe in a higher reality before it becomes visible. Life is full of appearances meant to distract you. They show up to test whether you truly believe what you say you believe. If you allow yourself to be swayed every time things look difficult, you will be pulled off your path again and again. But if you can hold steady, if you can remain calm and focused even in the middle of the storm, you will find that the storm passes and what you asked for begins to take shape. Appearances are temporary. They have no lasting power unless you give them power by reacting to them. When you ignore appearances, you are not being foolish, you are being wise. You are choosing to focus on the unseen forces already working on your behalf. Just because you cannot see the solution yet does not mean there isn't one. Think of a seed planted in the ground. You do not dig it up every day to check whether it is growing. You trust the process. You water it, you give it sunlight, and you wait. The appearance of bare soil does not discourage you, because you know that growth is happening out of sight. The same is true with every desire you hold. Just because nothing seems to be changing on the surface does not mean nothing is happening. The world will always try to pull you back into fear. It will show you numbers, statistics, reasons why what you want cannot be done. But those numbers are not final, and those reasons are not absolute. There is always a way. The path may be hidden at first, but when you refuse to accept appearances as the final truth, that path reveals itself. Doors open that seemed shut. Help comes from unexpected places. Solutions arrive at the last moment. Your job is to stay faithful to the picture you hold in your heart, not the one playing out in front of your eyes. Appearances are like shadows. They look solid but have no substance. The moment you turn toward the light of faith, the shadow must change. This is why the greatest creators and visionaries of all time ignored what was and stayed loyal to what could be. When you choose to see beyond appearances, you allow the invisible to become visible. Acting in faith means living as though what you desire is already done, even when there is no visible evidence to support it. Faith is not just believing with your mind. It is stepping forward with your whole being. It is making choices that match the outcome you have claimed. When you act in faith, you stop waiting for a sign before you move. You become the sign. You demonstrate your belief by aligning your behavior with the result you want, not the conditions you currently see. Most people wait for life to prove something to them before they change their attitude or take the next step. They say, "When I have the money, then I will feel abundant," or, "When I meet the right person, then I will feel loved." But faith works the other way around. You feel it first, you act on it first, when then life responds. When you act in faith, you show life that you are serious about what you have asked for. You step out as if the provision, the opportunity, or the breakthrough is already here, and that boldness causes doors to open. Acting in faith might look simple, but it requires courage. It asks you to trust that what you have declared is already moving toward you, even when appearances say the opposite. If you are believing for prosperity, you stop speaking words of lack and start blessing what you have. You handle your money as someone who is worthy of more. You express gratitude as if your supply is already overflowing. If you are believing for healing, you begin to picture yourself strong and vibrant. You take actions that affirm life, even if they are small at first. If you are believing for new opportunities, you prepare as though they are already on the way. You update your resume. You learn the skills you'll need. You create space for the good you've called in. Faith without action is incomplete. The inner work of believing and visualizing is powerful, but it becomes unstoppable when you back it with movement. Each step you take in alignment with your desire strengthens your conviction. It signals to your subconscious mind that this is not just a wish, it is your reality. And when your inner and outer worlds match, manifestation becomes inevitable. Acting in faith also means staying consistent, even when the process feels slow. You do not plant a seed and dig it up every day to check whether it is growing. You nurture it patiently. You keep speaking your word, you keep imagining the result, you keep taking small steps that match your vision. Faith is steady. It does not rush, panic, or try to force things to happen. It moves with quiet confidence, trusting that the unseen is becoming seen. Every time you act in faith, you are collapsing the gap between where you are and where you want to be. You are living ahead of your current reality, and by doing so, you pull that reality closer. This is how miracles happen, not by waiting passively, but by walking as if the promise is already fulfilled. The moment you begin to act in faith, everything around you begins to shift to meet you where you stand. Life rises to match the level of your expectation, and soon, what was once only imagined becomes the new normal. So today, make a decision. Refuse to let the picture in front of you dictate the story of your life. See beyond what is. Speak your word with power. Hold the vision until it becomes more real to you than anything else. Act as though your good is already here, and ignore every appearance that tries to convince you otherwise. You are not here to report reality. You are here to create it. Life is waiting for your command. Take your place as the author of your destiny, and write the story you truly want to live.